The new head of the Office of National Intelligence, Klugman, is warning Islamist extremism remains a top threat to Australia. Here she was at Senate estimates.
It remains a very close focus of many colleagues across the national intelligence community. The problem globally of Islamic extremist terrorism remains right up the top of the list when it comes to global extremist action and terrorism threats.
And yet I am yet to see Tony Burke boot out one radical Islamic hate preacher. But of course, when it comes to neo-Nazis, he's all over it. Joining me now to discuss this and more is Strategic Analysis Australia Director Michael Shoebridge. Michael, thank you so much for your time. So she's saying Islamic extremism is not a thing of the past. Is this just a reassessment or a reminder?
Well, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because her predecessor as the head of the Office of National Intelligence gave two statements to Parliament in October and early December last year, and there was a laundry list of threats and challenges to Australia that he mentioned. You know, the authoritarian axis, foreign economic coercion, espionage, cyber, transnational crime. But on that list, there was not global Islamist terrorism as a threat to Australia. So back then it wasn't at the top of mind, but now we're told by his replacement that global Islamist terrorism remains at the top of the list. This does look a little bit like a polite rewriting of history in the aftermath of the Bondi attacks. But
shouldn't that worry all of us then? I mean, if it's only just coming about now where they're openly saying it, what have they been doing for the past, 10, 15 years? It's not a new concept.
Yeah, this again, if you go back to what Andrew Shearer said to the Parliament as he was departing, he talked glowingly about how capable our national intelligence community was and how they'd uplifted their skills and they were so well placed to protect Australia from the threats that we faced. And as I say, about a week after he gave that statement in early December, there was the Bondi attack, the worst terrorist attack in our history. So I think there's an aura of self-protection and complacency in our national intelligence community around terrorism. I know there are dedicated people in different agencies, but frankly, it was not top of mind, and now it's back.
Yeah, well, it should. So we'd hope it's top of mind now, that's for sure. I found it interesting, Michael, the intelligence head also talked about the growing problems from what she described as a more chaotic, disordered world. What is this? Who's creating this chaotic world?
Well, again, I think it's what she's not saying that is interesting here. So you can get our intelligence folk to talk about the axis of authoritarianism, so China, Russia, Iran and North Korea. But unfortunately, there's some destabilising happening in the US alliance network. And some of that is this radical shift in how the Trump administration views allies and partners as problems, not advantages. And our officials are silent on this, but frankly, it should be making us rethink many things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned China there. That has to be number one on the rethink list. China's done us wrong in more ways than one, especially when it comes to defence. It's not what friends do. She also spoke there about backing the view that the Indo-Pacific is this epicentre. What does it actually mean day to day for Australia?
Well, it should mean a lot, but it appears not to mean as much as you would think. Defence is going to have its Senate estimates grilling tomorrow in the Parliament here. I hope that in that questioning, they say why the Albanese government is shoveling $2.6 billion out of the defence budget over the next 4 years, which is a reduction from the plan they revealed in the budget last year. So Australia should be lifting our defence spending quite significantly. Japan is doubling theirs, for example, but we're really sitting on our hands hoping everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I have discussed this before. $2.6 billion doesn't seem like a good bang for your buck when you consider that the amount of sites actually being sold, and as you mentioned, it's certainly leaving us open. Michael Shoebridge, we've got
I'm talking about extra money that's been cut. I'm talking about extra money, not the property sales money. This is $2.6 billion in cuts over the next 4 years, cuts to the defence budget from the plan the government put forward in last year's budget.
Wow. So it's even on top of that. I mean, it's just a disaster. Michael, unfortunately, we've got to leave it there. It's good to see you as always. Thank you so much for joining me on the program.